This is interesting. This one reminds me of some clients I had years ago. And women will stop having sex with guys who display too much unattractive behavior when the women don't feel heard and understood. And men who don't understand women get rejected sexually by their girlfriends or wives. And so, going back to what we were talking about earlier about how the man is supposed to provide the masculinity for his king, or his kingdom, I should say, his castle. He's supposed to be the mountain, the rock, her rock. But if the guy's flailing and not taking care of themselves, like, the example I was using was this particular client of mine. He had gone from being the type of guy that women were like, that guy's kind of weird and kind of creepy a little bit, to lighting women up and laughing. And he met this beautiful woman that was really charming, really sweet, really kind, came from a good family. And I remember when he first started dating her, he's like, man, I think he was at a wedding, and everybody's like looking at him and looking at her and then looking back at him and thinking, how the hell is she with that dude? And he felt amazing. And then so they ended up getting married. They had a few kids, and then he's kind of a macho guy. He's in the military, and his wife was great with numbers and accounting and paying the bills, and that was like a big thing for her. And he's like, well, I'm the man of the house, and she became a stay-at-home mom. He's like, I'm going to take care of the checkbook and paying the bills. And so he takes it over, and he just sucks ass at it. So things are getting turned off, or there's getting late notices and late fees, and because he's in the military, he's not always, he's not always available 24/7 to talk and resolve things. So she's sitting at home wondering, is my phone going to get turned off, or did the car payment go out on time or whatever? And he's mad and upset that she didn't want to have sex with him anymore. Their sex life was terrible. And so I actually did a phone session with both of them, and he was so cocky and full of swagger, and he was like, we're going to talk to Corey, and Corey's going to tell you that I'm right and you should be listening to me. And so we started in the phone session, and I asked her, I was like, well, what's going on? And then a couple times he went to interrupt. I was like, no, dude, you got to let her speak. I need to hear where she's coming from. And so she told me everything that was going on, and right away I spotted, it was obvious, is that she didn't feel safe anymore. He's away, he's deployed or whatever, and she doesn't know if the electric's going to get turned off or not, or the phone. And so like when he comes home on leave or whatever, and it's like she doesn't want to have sex with him, and he's getting mad and upset, and she told me flat out he was terrible at it. And he admits he wasn't very good at it. It's like, dude, you need to let your wife handle the bills like she was before, because that was really the only thing that was the issue. And to her, that was a pet peeve. It was a point of pride with her that the bills were paid, and she wouldn't even give him an allowance of what he could spend because otherwise he would just keep spending money and then drain the bank account dry, because he was terrible with that. He couldn't even basically balance a checkbook. But he's, I'm a macho man and I'm going to do all this myself. And it's like, hey, some people just aren't good at it.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, he was like, man, I did not expect to hear you tell me that, Corey. And because he trusted me, because it's like he would have never got with her in the first place if it hadn't been for the coaching and the things that I had taught him over the years. And so because he respected me, and she did too, they changed that. He put her back in charge of the bills, and within a matter of weeks, everything was back and paid normal. And she gave, she would deposit the money into his account for his, weekly. They each got a certain amount that they could spend on meals and stuff. And she felt safe. She felt comfortable. She felt heard. She felt understood. There was no longer this friction over the bill thing. And they got back to fucking like rabbits. And I think they had one or two more kids after that.
Yeah, because when you lose trust and respect for your man, the attraction and love starts to go away. Like, you can't have that love feeling without respect and trust.
Yep. If you don't respect him, you can't love him.
It's just a guarantee. It's easy to see as an outsider. I guess when you're in it, you're not seeing it for what it is. But she didn't feel secure. She had no power.
She didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no power to fix it.
Yeah, she had no power to fix it. He's not paying attention.
Because she did submit to him and say, okay, well, you're the man of the household. I'll follow your lead. And he just did a terrible job at it. And so even though he was in the lead, he got what he wanted. He wasn't getting access to the box anymore because she didn't
Yeah.
feel safe. She didn't feel safe getting knocked up and having another kid because, she didn't know what was going to get turned off next, or, the bill collectors are calling or whatever because, things aren't paid on time.
Yeah. I went through that in my marriage a little bit too.
When a woman feels heard and understood, the legs open. And when she doesn't, the legs close.